Yo, my Winject community. It's Angelo Sisco, and today I'm giving you no immunity, baby. We're going right at you, right at the jugular. So today, we're going to talk about the foundation for success. Now, this is a tried and true formula that we have found that just works. No matter what endeavor you are trying to do, no matter what you're trying to accomplish, this could be with anything with yourself, a physical practice, a spiritual practice, and a mental practice. This could be you with your partner in a relationship or anything of that matter, okay? And lastly, but certainly not least, this is in business. If you are unable to do the following formula and repeat it over and over again, I don't care how great your business plan is. I don't care how amazing your personal trainer is. I don't care how great your workout, your nutritionist, all of these things. You will not be able to be successful in either of them. I guarantee it. I forgot who said that, but that was a commercial back in the day. I guarantee. Okay? And please trust me on this. This is just the most important thing that I have ever found with anyone, including myself, to actually be successful. And I would love if anyone would ever care to share an opposing point of view on this. So the foundation for success, okay, is structure plus discipline plus consistency. That is the foundation for success. That is the success formula. On top of that, you could layer any sort of skill, natural talent, attribute, anything. You could stack it on there to the pyramids. Yet until you know how to create and keep a structure, which is setting a schedule, a structure of when you are going to actually do the things that look like you want to be successful in a certain area, set the time, set the container intentionally, you just simply will not be able to show up to the dance. Now, what this is really important about is I said this in about relationships as well. Oftentimes when I see a lot of married couples out there, they do not engage with each other physically as much as they once did when they were younger. And one of the first things I tell a lot of the men that I work with that are feeling underappreciated or underquenched in that area, or even with their wife as well, is I say, well, why don't you schedule the sex first? And oftentimes, just setting that structure, that container, allows everyone to know that there's a place to show up there. And then you will have a more successful relationship. Some of you may need to put this idea of creating a structure into your physical practice, to going to the gym or working out or doing yoga, whatever that is. Some of you, crazy, passionate entrepreneurs, this is the skill you're really lacking. You already know what to do. Yet, do you have structure in your day to make sure that you are not wasting energy and being the most productive? Super important. So number one in that formula is structure, setting a structure. Not to be so rigid that you're a good boy or bad boy, yet at the same time, we need something in place, a container in place, so that we could show up and be present and do the work, right? We need to have something to set the table. Next, discipline. Now, discipline, I'm sure you've heard 1,000 different ways people explain this in many different ways. I'm going to give you my 2 favorite ways to explain discipline, how I see it. 1 from my version and 2 from someone that I really admire. Okay. For me, discipline is your ability to say no, period. To say no. Oftentimes, saying no is what keeps you from upholding the structure. Now, what's really interesting about saying no, this sounds so simple. It's a 2-letter word. Yet when we really uncover the psychological and skill set of saying no, there's so much to it. So, Ange, what do you mean by that? Number 1, the psychological side. Many people have a hard time saying no because you're a people pleaser. Because you're scared if you tell someone no, that they won't like you, that they'll judge you, and all that stuff. So that's first and foremost. You need to get past that. And I would also argue that if you cannot say no to someone, you are more than likely also not inspired to do what you've actually set structure to do. Because if you are really inspired to go do the thing that you want to be successful in, saying no should be quite easy. So that's a little caveat. Number 2, my favorite other definition of saying no comes from the late, great philosopher, in my opinion, of our time, Mike Tyson. Yep, Mike Tyson, the guy with the tattoo on his face, ear biting. You guys all know who he is. Okay, Mike Tyson. And he said, discipline is the ability to fall in love with the things you hate doing. And I really admire that man for that. I find that to be another one that's very, very beautiful. Is in order for you to be successful, if you could fall in love with the things that you hate doing, because the things that you really hate doing are the things that actually have the most growth potential for you. And if you could train yourself to fall in love with them, you are literally one of the limitless people on planet Earth. Because what stops people is how they feel about something. Yet, if you could take and learn the skill of falling in love with something you hate and finding beauty in it, it'll probably serve you a lot in life. And like I said, this is why I call it the success formula. So that is the second part, discipline. For me, it's your ability to say no, which is a psycho-emotional plus a skill. Sometimes, I'm sorry, I also didn't go back to this. Sometimes for many, it's a skill. How do you say no? Well, the truth is, you don't need to go read a book about how to say no. Be vulnerable and tell someone the truth. No, I cannot hang out with you guys this weekend and drink. Truth is, I'm on a really big kick and passion to improve my health in 2021. And I'm going to have to pass on this because the environment is not going to be supportive of me and my goals. I love you. I appreciate your invite. Yet me reaching this goal is a bigger priority for me right now than having just drinks. Thank you so much. There's a skill to it. And so you might need to brush up on your skill if you just can't just say no and move on with things. The last, and certainly not least, the real separator, the real difference maker. Once you got that pretty structure, if you're a little geeky, you might have set up the Google Calendar with all the colors. You guys know who I'm talking to out there. Me, I call you geeks because I'm really jealous. I could barely set up my Google Calendar. Most of the time, my team is helping me make sure I'm in the right place. Okay, so even though I say that word geek, it comes from so much admiration for you technological advanced people. I'm still using Post-its and pencils. Okay, is your ability to be consistent. Consistency is so unsexy on the outside, yet for me, it's a turn on to the next level. There is nothing sexier than for me when someone can keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, and keep showing up, no matter what the prior result is and no matter how they felt. That to me, consistency beyond your feelings is what Alpha Hippie, one of the cornerstones of why I even say that we help men go pro. A professional shows up and does their job consistently, no matter how they feel. And if you take a look at the history books, ladies and gentlemen, the ones that just kept doing it over and over again, that showed up, that said no to things that didn't align with their structure and keep doing it with a smile on their face, not lose enthusiasm, not become impatient, not become ungrateful. The ones that could just keep chopping wood and carrying water every day and trusting that that's all they need to be doing, not comparing, not being jealous, are the ones that win in the game of life. The ones that are trying to copy, be someone that they're not, looking at other people's Instagram pages and wondering what they're doing. You guys know who you are out there. Wondering if someone's using your line or all that stuff. You guys can't win. You're never going to win because the ones that are winning are showing up. They're setting the structure. They're saying no to things that don't matter, and they do it every day. It doesn't need to be a home run every day. The goal is, can you get up to the plate, take your best swing? Some days you make contact, some days you don't, but at the end of the day, you showed up, you did the work, you didn't let your feelings or something other than what you were supposed to do get in the way, and you did it consistently. Foundation for success and foundation for every man out there that's ready to go pro. This is what we teach here at Alpha Hippie. This is the foundation for everything that there is. If you are struggling with this idea of creating this life or this framework into your life, I highly recommend, in order for you to learn more and train yourself in this, you do something physically. For me, as a young man, I learned it through work. I had to work at a very young age. My father was in prison when I was 5 years old till I was 16, and I was not an athlete. I wasn't one of those athletes. So I went to work at 10 years old. And to show up every Thursday from 4 to 6, and every Saturday from 10 to 12 at 𝗹𝗶𝗸𝗲 Hair Care on Broadway in Melrose Park, Illinois, and clean hair and do that and receive my $4 an hour salary back then. $4 an hour. That was a big deal back then. You didn't know how much bubble tape I could buy. Enough to get 6 cavities, I think, on each side. Remember bubble tape? You guys should know. Nevertheless, that's how I learned it. Some people learn it through more physical, which is playing sports. Oftentimes, too, exercise is a great way to learn this and train this into you. And the goal is to not break the chain. The consistency is the separator. So those of you that are out there, be the tortoise, take a step every day, yet keeping that step forward is so important, because the consistency of swinging that bat eventually turns into contact, which turns into singles, which turns into doubles, which turns into triples, and then eventually get you to that home run. If you swing once every 50 times, or even get to the game once every 50 times, you will not build up enough momentum, skill, and inspiration to actually get to that home run swing. That's what I have for you this week. I wish all of you an amazing, amazing week. I'll be back here next week, jumping and jiving and wailing about something. Winject community, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to reach you and anyone that's taking time out of your beautiful lives to watch this. I am so grateful for you and your attention. Much love and inspiration and abundance to everyone. If we all come together, when we all come together, and we could have this foundation for success, we are limitless. Bye-bye.
This broadcast is brought to you by Winject Studios. We are an all-in-one educational platform for podcasters that revolutionizes how hosts leverage content to increase engagement with listeners, downloads, and income. We come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how you can interact directly with our hosts, access exclusive live content with offers you can't get anywhere else from our official partners, join our purpose-driven community by visiting www.winject.com. If you're ready to build a career doing what you love, then we're ready to see you there.